There are lots of people asking right now, but I'm not afraid to answer their question. Why do so many people hate Disney World right now? Reason number one, the rising cost of magic. The cost of Disney magic has always been a stretch for a lot of families, and budgeting and saving for a Walt Disney World vacation has actually become part of the fun. But today that cost feels like it's reached a whole new level. When Magic Kingdom first opened in 1971, general admission was $3.50, about $25 in today's dollars when adjusted for inflation. But that just got you through the gate. Guests also had to buy a separate ticket book for attractions costing $4.50 to $5.75, or about $32 to $41 today. Altogether, a day at Disney in 1971 cost around $57 in today's money. Compare that to now, and a single day ticket starts at $134 and can reach up to $189 depending on the season. Adjusted for inflation, ticket prices have risen 436%. Accommodations tell a similar story. In 1971, a night at the Polynesian Village Resort or the Contemporary Resort cost $29 to $44, which adjusts to $204 to $310 today. Now standard rooms at these deluxe resorts start at over $700 a night, an increase of 243% on the low end and 126% on the high end. Dining has also followed the same trend. A turkey leg in 2013 was $5.50, but today that same snack costs $12.49, a 127% increase in just a decade for a turkey leg, and that far outpaces general inflation. Services that used to be free now come with an additional cost. The Lightning Lane Multi-Pass lets you pre-select up to 3 attractions in a single park for $18 to $29 per person, depending on the park and date. The Lightning Lane Single Pass for high-demand rides like Rise of the Resistance or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train costs $12 to $25 per ride. And if you want full access to all Lightning Lane rides in a park for the day, the Premier Pass costs between $129 and $449 per person, depending on the season. Remember when you could just walk up to a Fast Pass kiosk and get yourself a paper Fast Pass and go skip the line on the ride of your choice? Well, those days are gone, and so is just getting in line and waiting like everyone else. Now, when you wait in the standby queue, you're competing with everybody who paid a premium price to skip the line. Disney's VIP tours have probably seen the most insane price hikes of all. These private tours now cost $450 to $900 per hour with a 7-hour minimum plus admission. In 1971, a guided tour cost $6.50 per adult, about $46 today. The days of relatively affordable luxury seem long gone. That's an increase of 6,748% on the low end and 13,596% on the high end. Is that even a real percentage? But let's be honest, you didn't get nearly as much out of those tours in 1971. They were more like what we know as the Keys to the Kingdom tour today, offering a guide to share history and park secrets, but without the exclusive perks, priority access, or personalized luxury that define VIP tours today. Finally, transportation has seen a huge increase when Disney discontinued its Disney's Magical Express service, bringing you from the airport to your Disney resort. That was suspended in 2022, leaving guests to pretty much fend for themselves. There are services like Mears Connect or the rideshare services like Uber and Lyft that you can take, but you're paying for those out of your own pocket. It's no longer included in your Walt Disney World vacation. When you factor in tickets, accommodations, dining, line skipping services, VIP tours, and transportation, the rising cost of magic becomes clear. While Disney still promises unforgettable experiences, it's fair to wonder if the magic is slipping out of reach for many families. Reason number 2, pardon our pixie dust. Normally when people complain about construction at Walt Disney World, I say, hey, it's all part of the magic. Pardon our pixie dust. These projects are just an investment in our future fun. But this year and 2026 feel really different, and we aren't seeing brand new rides being built. This is about beloved attractions and entire lands being boarded up, transformed, and reimagined. Many of these closures are for long-term projects, and in the meantime, we're left with a park full of construction walls. It it's a bit overwhelming. At Magic Kingdom, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is closed until 2026. Astro Orbiter is down until summer 2025. Hall of Presidents is closing to move the Donald Trump audio animatronic back into the speaking position. Beloved spots like Tom Sawyer Island and the Liberty Square Riverboat are scheduled to close forever to make way for a Cars-themed land. Epcot is in the middle of its transformation too. Test Track is closed for reimagining, Grand Fiesta Tour is down for refurbishment, and Spaceship Earth is getting a new lounge. Hollywood Studios is also affected, with Muppet Vision 3D and Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy closing for new projects, including a Disney Villains-themed stage show and a Monsters Inc.-themed land. Animal Kingdom is going through perhaps some of the biggest changes. Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama is gone forever, It's Tough to Be a Bug is closing for a Zootopia show, and even Dinosaur, the ride, is in its countdown to extinction to make room for a Tropical Americas themed area. But it doesn't stop there. Resorts are also under construction. Pools like the Fantasia Pool at the All-Star Movies and Fuentes del Moro Pool at Caribbean Beach and guest room refurbishments are ongoing at Port Orleans French Quarter, Yacht Club, and Bay Lake Tower. Even Stormalong Bay, the crown jewel of Disney Resorts pools, is closed until mid-2025. And we're even being surprised by new closures we didn't know were going to happen. Here I am at the Main Street train station, and you can see that the entire center area of the entryway is closed off for refurbishment. Reason number 3, is there such a thing as too much magic? As Disney fans, we just get it. Stepping into a park and the music swells, castle shimmers, and the characters you've loved since childhood come to life all around you. But for someone who isn't already in love with Disney, that magic can sometimes look more like, well, a nightmare. If you've ever traveled with someone who doesn't care about Mickey Mouse, hates waiting in lines, or thinks matching shirts are embarrassing, you've probably seen firsthand why Disney World isn't for everyone. One big reason some people find Disney World off-putting is how much it leans into its own movies and franchises now. There was a time when the parks were about original ideas. Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't based on a movie, and neither was Haunted Mansion or Space Mountain. Those were stories anyone could step into, no matter how they felt about Disney movies. But today, almost every new project is tied to an existing film. Even Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean became films, and now you can't even ride those rides without stepping into a Disney movie. Another example is Animal Kingdom. Disney is replacing Dinoland USA with a land inspired by Encanto, but in the process is losing a rare 100% original land with a full backstory written by Imagineers who actually design everything to optimize the magic, and not by a screenwriter who is crafting an experience for a very different medium. Just another example of Disney turning its focus to franchises, and if you're not a fan of the movies or just not that into animated films, Disney World can start to feel more like a giant commercial than an immersive escape. And then there's the culture of Disney fandom itself. As fans, we know it's fun to go all out wearing our Disney bounds, getting in heated Dole Whip flavor ranking debates, maybe even chiming in with unsolicited advice when you overhear someone discussing their plans. For a casual visitor, that can be a lot to take in. It's not that people don't enjoy the parks, it's that they don't want to feel like they have to be super fans to enjoy them. The thing is, Disney World may not be designed for everyone anymore. It's designed for people who already love Disney, the movies, the characters, and everything in between. If you're not a member of that club, it's easy to feel out of place. For someone who just wants a chill vacation or a few good thrill rides, all the storytelling, theming, and Disney branding might feel a little over the top. Is there such a thing as too much magic? Maybe, but it's a good reminder for us Disney superfans that not everybody is going to be into it as much as we are. Reason number 4, Disney World is not a vacation. Imagine it's 1989. You're standing at the front entrance of Magic Kingdom and you haven't planned anything. You haven't even purchased your tickets ahead of time. You stroll up to the ticket booth, decide how many days you want, and you're in. No apps, no virtual queues, no worrying about which rides to reserve days in advance. You're just here. And dining? Well, if you're hungry, you walk up to a restaurant, put your name on the list, and you wait. Maybe you don't get into King Stephen's Banquet Hall, which is now Cinderella's royal table, but that's okay. You grab a quick service meal at Pinocchio's Village House by waiting in line to order with everybody else. No need for a special app or even a phone, and you sit by the window watching the boats of It's a Small World sail by as you eat the meal you ordered the traditional way. Spontaneity wasn't punished, it was part of the fun. But back then, Walt Disney World had 3 parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center, and the newly opened Disney MGM Studios, and on-property accommodations were more limited. You could choose from the Polynesian Village Resort, the Contemporary Resort, Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, the Disney Inn, which is now shades of green, the Disney Village Resort, which was torn down and transformed into what we now know as the Disney Springs Resort area, or the two newest options at the time, the Grand Floridian Beach Resort and the Caribbean Beach Resort. While rooms could sell out during busy times, the process was generally simple and convenient. If you decided to extend your stay, you could visit Town Square Theater and check for availability. Planning was minimal. You could book a room last minute, show up, and just enjoy. Fast forward to the Disney Dining Plan launching in 2005, and suddenly everyone was booking dining reservations months out. Popular spots like Le Cellier and Chef Mickey's became impossible to snag unless you planned early. At that time, the dining reservation window was 180 days, giving guests nearly 6 months to strategize for their trips. That all changed after the parks reopened after the pandemic closures. Disney reduced the reservation window to 60 days, making it a rare change that actually made planning slightly more spontaneous, though competition for reservations is still high. Today, it's a whole new world. Want to ride something? Better know how to work the Lightning Lane multi-pass system, snag a single pass, or manage a virtual queue. You can make ride reservations up to 7 days in advance if you're staying at a Disney resort hotel, or 3 days in advance if you're staying off-property. Want to eat? Dining reservations still open 60 days out, and some places are booked solid within minutes. Don't want to plan? Too bad. The spontaneity that used to define a Disney trip is gone. Now, if you don't do your homework, you're standing in lines, missing rides, and eating wherever there's availability, while everyone else is breezing through their meticulously scheduled days. Disney grew, demand skyrocketed, and they had to find ways to manage crowds. It seems like one of those tactics was to raise prices and price a lot of families out of a Disney World vacation. It's hard not to miss the days when all you needed was a ticket and the love of family fun. No apps, no schedules, just enthusiasm to explore and see what the day brought. Those days are definitely gone, so I can see why people say that Disney World is not a vacation, it's more like a job. Number 5, age inappropriate. Is Disney World for kids, adults, or both? Walt Disney's vision was to create a park where families could enjoy time together. But as the parks have evolved, there's growing tension between catering to thrill-seeking adults and creating experiences for families with small children. In the past decade, Disney World has opened 10 major attractions. 7 of them, like Avatar Flight of Passage, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and Tron Light Cycle Run, come with height requirements appealing to older kids, teens, and adults. Only 3 attractions have no height requirements: Navi River Journey, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Frozen Ever After. This trend towards thrill rides seems like Disney is favoring adult audiences, but it creates unique challenges for families with small children. Parent swap services allow adults to experience these attractions while the other waits with the kids, but splitting up or skipping rides entirely often becomes the default. Even attractions without height requirements like Haunted Mansion can feel too intense for little ones, leaving parents juggling expectations and managing meltdowns. And then there are the strollers. They dominate pathways, shops, and queues, frustrating some guests who feel overwhelmed by the congestion. But for families, strollers are essential for long days with toddlers who can't walk the length of the parks. Disney tries to accommodate everyone, but these logistical headaches remind us that the parks weren't designed with every group's needs in perfect harmony. At the same time, Disney has leaned in heavily with adult-focused offerings. Events like Epcot's Food and Wine Festival and attractions like Rise of the Resistance cater to older audiences, offering a more sophisticated side of the Disney experience. Yet the parks remain filled with strollers, kid-friendly rides, and character meet and greets, signaling that families with young children still dominate the park's priorities. So is Disney World age appropriate for everyone? The truth is, they're still trying to find the balance. Whether you're traveling with toddlers, teens, or no kids at all, there's a good chance you'll encounter moments where it feels like the parks weren't designed for your specific needs in mind. That's the challenge Disney faces, creating a space that feels magical for everyone, even when everyone wants something different. Number 6, the nostalgia trap. There's a funny thing about memory. The past always seems brighter, simpler, and somehow better than the present. It's something we all do, especially when it comes to places like Walt Disney World. For those of us who grew up visiting the parks, it's easy to feel like something has been lost over the years, like the magic isn't quite what it used to be. But here's the truth. Nostalgia plays tricks on us. Research shows that nostalgia, while it can feel comforting, is actually an overwhelmingly negative emotion. It filters out flaws and frustrations of the past and leaves behind an idealized version of how things were. So when we compare our favorite Disney memories to what the parks are like now, we're not making a fair comparison. We're comparing a polished, curated highlight reel to the messy, unpredictable reality of the present. Studies have shown that our brains are wired to make the past look better than it really was. We remember the joy of seeing the Main Street Electrical Parade for the first time, but not the heat, crowds, or the fact that the churro we dropped made us cry for an hour. And when we hold the Disney of today up to that impossible standard, it's no wonder it feels like something might be missing. I'll admit, I've been guilty of this. As a lifelong Disney fan, I used to get caught up in longing for the way that it used to be. I miss original Epcot Center like it hurts me. It hurts me how much I miss Horizons. But the more that I visit modern day Epcot, the more I see the vision and the upgrades that have been made, and I truly have to ask myself, is the Epcot today actually better than the one that was there in 1982 when the park first opened? No, but I really like what we have today, and all of those original rides might have looked really dated if they stayed open. Walt Disney himself said Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world. Change is part of what makes Disney so special. It's always evolving just like we are. And while nostalgia can make it easy to cling to the past, embracing the present opens us up to a whole new kind of magic. So the next time you catch yourself longing for the good old days, remember that today's Disney is tomorrow's nostalgia. Every moment, every trip, every memory you're making right now is part of the magic, just like it used to be, even if it doesn't feel like it just yet. Reason number 7, why go on a fake vacation? Let's face it, not everyone gets the appeal of spending their hard-earned money and vacation days on repeat trips to Walt Disney World. Friends and family might ask, why not go somewhere else? Why not go somewhere real? Take an international trip, relax on a beach, or try a cruise instead of running around a theme park filled with crowds and long lines. And you know what? I get where they're coming from. To some, Disney World may seem like an oppressively curated experience, a place where everything is carefully crafted to feel immersive, but also, they might argue, feels fake. The rides aren't real adventures, the lands aren't real destinations, and you're not experiencing culture or nature, at best, a recreation of it. From that perspective, it's easy to see why people question spending thousands of dollars for a vacation in what they see as a setting made of wood, steel, and fiberglass. But here's the thing, what some see as fake, we see as storytelling and artistry. Everything at Walt Disney World is designed with intention, from the smallest detail in a queue to the way a cast member greets you in a themed land. It's not trying to be real, it's better than real. And that's the magic. You're stepping into someone's imagination, someone's creative masterpiece. To dismiss that as fake is to overlook the immense effort and creativity that goes into crafting these experiences and the way they can make us feel. Still, I get why people may want something different from a vacation, and even Disney understands that. That's why they've expanded their offerings beyond theme parks. Disney Cruise Line is a perfect example. The cruise line launched in 1998 with just 2 ships, Disney Magic and Disney Wonder, and for more than a decade, growth was slow, with only 4 ships added by 2012. But recently, demand has skyrocketed. Half of the fleet has been introduced in just the past few years, starting with the Disney Wish in 2022, the Disney Treasure in 2024, and now 2 ships in 2025, the Disney Destiny and Disney Adventure, Disney Cruise Line's first ship permanently based in Singapore. By the end of 2025, the fleet will have grown to 8 ships, with even more planned to reach a total of 13 by 2031. For those who want even more adventure, Adventures by Disney provides guided group vacations to over 35 destinations across 6 continents. Whether you dream of exploring the Great Wall of China, the fjords of Norway, or the savannas of Africa, these trips allow you to experience local culture while enjoying Disney's legendary attention to detail. But Disney World for fans isn't just a place, it's a feeling. It's nostalgia, an appreciation of creativity, and escape all rolled into one. It's a world where stress and reality can melt away, and you can embrace the magic of storytelling and imagination, but most importantly, it feels safe, and objectively, it is very safe. So while I can see the appeal of other vacations and maybe even agree with taking a break to try something new, I'll always defend the choice to return to Walt Disney World. For many of us, it's not just a vacation, it's home. If you liked this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now go watch me give you 8 tips you need for your very real vacation in Walt Disney World in 2025. See you next time.